welcome back to the show, State Representative Tony Scott.
And you mentioned that they might have to reback and do this for next year. We might be seeing it again this year. We might be in special session in September, and I think we might end up seeing this housing bill be a phoenix again and come out of the ashes.
How would that change form if it were to come back in a special session enough for it to pass, and for the governor to sign?
So when you come back into special session, all the rules that traditionally happen going through the legislative process, meaning going through the committee process, having a public hearing, all that goes out the window, right? It is a way to circumvent that for all intents and purposes, because there's no public hearings anymore. They can do and add whatever they want to this bill.
What are you hearing as ranking member of housing then that would impact or would offer a significant change?
Number one is there's the piece of the as of right zoning changes. So right now in the bill, well, it's not a bill anymore, it's dead. But right now in that concept H5002 is that you, as a builder, can come in and get a commercial piece of property and come in as of right, meaning you don't have to go through a public hearing, you don't have to go in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission and make that a residential property. No matter where it's zoned at. It's commercially zoned, you can change that over. What's it going to turn into? I don't know. The idea for us is we've told the governor's office we want that piece to go away totally. Not to make it, well, if it's only 5, if you're only building 5 units, then it's okay. Because that's probably what they're trying to negotiate. The House Democrats are probably trying to negotiate. Well, if it's 9 units or it's 5 units, then they can do that as of right. So small, and then start small, and then ultimately
that's right.
What will happen? It's going to keep going bigger and bigger.
Next year it'll come back, and then it'll go well. You can't. It's like you give an inch, you take a mile. You know, you can't. You can't even open up that door a slight.
And I want to caveat all this. The Republicans, the House Republicans, Joe Zullo, who's on the Planning and Zoning, he's the ranking on Planning and Zoning, and myself, who's the ranking on Housing, are not part of any of these conversations. We have reached out to the governor's office multiple times since back when session ended all the way. We continue to keep doing it. We've reached out. They have chosen not to take our call. They have chosen not to put us at the table. And that's super disappointing because I personally spent 5 hours on the floor of the House debating this bill. It wasn't a filibuster. It was a debate because I wasn't just talking. I was tearing the bill apart. And when I tore the bill apart, what happened was those seams started bursting open, and the governor's office saw that, and the people across the state of Connecticut, mainly the municipal leaders, saw that. And what they did was they spoke out. People from Easton, Trumbull, Fairfield, all Democratic-led towns, first selectmen that are Democrats writing letters to the governor, people in Bridgeport, the city council writing, because the next piece we're going to talk about is the parking mandate. There is now going to be in this bill, if it were to pass, and it didn't, but like if it were to run again, is the parking piece is so detrimental even to the cities. So you cannot as a municipality reject a piece of development because of the lack of parking. So theoretically, you could build a 15-unit building and provide no parking. And it'd have to either be on-street parking or a parking garage somewhere. They could do that, and you cannot reject it as a planning and zoning or a municipality. You cannot reject it. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're going to put people having to walk distances with their groceries, with their kids, coming home late from work. You're going to make them park on the streets and stuff. It's not safe. It's just not safe. And that's a piece in the bill that the governor's office doesn't like. Heck, the city of Bridgeport reached out to the House chair of Housing Committee, Representative Felipe, and told him they didn't like it. He still didn't care. They still left it in there, and they still ran with it. One other thing that I'm surprisingly not getting a lot of exposure in this bill was this union sweetheart deal. I just want to hit this one thing really quick, is there is a part of this bill that unions, pensions, are now being carved out and allowed to literally be able to invest and build housing, and the state of Connecticut will fund up to 50% of that. So think about this, Gary. There's a $10 million housing project that the unions, their pensions, are willing to invest in. The state of Connecticut gives them $5 million in bonding. Here you go, pensions. Union pensions, you get this $5 million, unions. The state has no equity in that property. They have not even guaranteed. That money is given to them. There's no in any way, shape, or form a way to get that $5 million back to the state of Connecticut. So that $10 million property now is the union, they build housing, whatever, how many units it is. 50% of that's paid for the state of Connecticut, and now they own 100% of the equity. So in 10 years, it goes to $20 million, and they sell it. They get to keep $20 million, and that's $5 million of the state money that could have been $5 to $10 million with the growth of that. So we're literally handing a 50% coupon to the unions to build housing.
All right, my good friend. Great job this morning. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. We thought that bill was at least, nothing's ever dead. It's just sleeping.
Yeah, of course.